Hi, everyone. This is Colette Marie Steffen. You're listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. And we're also live on Facebook right now. It feels like I'm kind of in a weird zone. I'll explain in a little bit what's been going on for me. Kind of had some strange things happen in the last week. I mean, I know like it's strange all out there anyway, but with this on this show, it's Tales from the Vector, and I share. I've been working on a deck of cards now, an oracle for 13 years, and I started it with the generator card, which is Angers, and I have 64 in the series, and I'm working on the final painting and writing the oracle part now, because over the last 4 years, my deck has been out and about around the world, just being sold card by card. Because at first there was 25, 17, I think, and then 25, and then because a lot of these paintings are large. So I choose a painting, or the painting chooses us, from Tales from the Vector. And that you can check out at TAILS from the vector.com. And so this is the painting that I don't know if you can see it 100% here. It's just with the light on it, but this is the painting about bats initiation, and that kept coming up for today's radio show. And I'm like, but we already did. I'm sure it wasn't that long ago. I mean, I've got 63 cards done, and I didn't want to have the same ones keep coming up, but this one kept coming up, and it's the bat card. And so I'm just going to read a little bit from my manual. This is my call to dance manuals. They're actually available on my site still. I can't teach the seminars at live events anymore this year, but you can purchase the manuals, and basically they're coloring books. They're kind of like, they have instruction on how some anatomy, psychosomatics, energy work, sacred geometry, all the stuff that I've been interested in. And so I did, each of the manuals has, I think, about 90 pages, and then around 80 or 90 drawings that you can color in. And my intention for this was similar to my book, which is to, when people color in the pictures in the manual, that they're actually going to receive a download of the information. And when you're coloring, it gives your brain something to do. And so your logical brain's all happy because you're being kind of entertaining it and allowing that more intuitive information to come through. And so that's basically what this deck of cards does. And for the last 4 years, it's basically, I integrated it into my Call to Dance program, which is an energetic upgrade program. So it's about how to identify and eliminate hidden energetic blocks. And so what I'm doing right now is I had integrated all this information in and was teaching it at live events. So now I am finishing the last painting, writing the oracle part, and I'm preparing actually to put something out there, probably on a YouTube channel, where because I need to play with my cards a little bit more so I can finish writing the oracle. And so I'm really excited about that. That's why I sort of have a new setup here. I promised I would put that out there on Facebook after the last radio show, but then my daughter ended up having that surgery 3 weeks ago, and I was catching up, and I have a course that I was taking, and then now I'm a squirrel mama. So that's my news of what one of the weird things that happened is 2 days ago I was walking outside to go water my yard, and this little I hear this little crying baby, and it's this little squirrel. I didn't know what it was actually. It was like, 'cause it's doesn't have its eyes open, and it was laying there and it was crying like, "Mama, mama," and I'm like, "Oh my lord." So I went and I grabbed, a towel, and I wrapped it up and got it warmed up, and then I was, like, just cuddling it and like talking to it, and it's okay. And I only had some ice cream and raw honey, so I mixed that together because raw honey has antibacterial properties. But this little thing must have fallen from the big tree, up by the shed, and that's a good 20-foot drop from the branch. So, I'm like, I'm 99% sure now that this is a squirrel. Not sure what kind yet. She's starting to get a little bit of hair now. Squirrels have to be fed every 2 hours. And so it just so happened my daughter had some kitten milk. So she and her boyfriend said they would come over and bring, because they had just gotten a kitten a few months back and they had some left over. And so I've been feeding this little baby squirrel, with an eyedropper, kitten milk every 2 hours around the clock now for, well, I guess 48 hours now. And she made it through the night, and now she's made it through her second night. And now, like, honestly, I had to really correct myself because rodents aren't really my favorite thing. So I had to really, like, I told my daughter, shh, don't talk about it being kind of like, because it's naked and it's I said, don't talk. It's cute. I said, I'm working on myself, that it's very cute because I'm cuddling this thing. And I want to make sure, at first, for the first day, I was using gloves, like gardening gloves, because I didn't want to get my scent on it. I left it outside in a basket with blankets covering it. And, the mama never did come, and squirrels are typically really, really good mums. So anyway, I go in the house after I finally got this thing all settled in the shed, and I look in my spare bedroom, and I'm like, whoa, there's a valance there. It's actually a beautiful ayahuasca valance that I had from Peru, but it looks like a hornet's nest is up there. And I'm like, when did a hornet's nest start there and how? And they don't usually do it right on the clock. So I went and I got my vacuum cleaner and put the long hose on it. And I was gonna, you know, knock it down. And then if there was any hornets come out, that's when I realized it was a bat. Oh, Lord. So thank God, my daughter's boyfriend is not afraid of bats. And he managed to catch the bat, and we let it go in the backyard. And now his new nickname is Batman. But it was just such a weird day. And so that's when that, and then of course this card came up. And so I'm just going to, Zach, how much time do we have left right now? Okay, no, I can read this in about 3 minutes. I just wanted to see, I didn't want to start it if I couldn't finish it. Okay, so this card, initiation, this is ego. And so this is one of the karmic spaces of jealousy in the deck. So chaos is created in the mind when people continuously create positive and negative stories about others that evolve and revolve around self. And so this quickly can cause a poor me attitude that leads to complaining and begs the question, why me? If you consider the many ways people and other beings on this planet suffer and struggle around the world, people might ask instead, why not me? So the note, each of these cards has, the karmic cards has a note, and it's got a t-shirt. And the t-shirt is part, like, imprinted into like this note that you can then energetically, once you color it in, if you picture it, it automatically has all these energetic shifts built into it. And so the note for this card is, I am strong because I have been weak before. And when people, it's kind of about believing your own press. So when people are unable to let go of the past and they continue to wallow in the same old story, they tend to overreact and overindulge in their self thoughts. And so repeatedly revisiting an unpleasant or painful past event and all its ramifications is to indulge in anger, fear, and other negative emotions. And this only creates destructive thinking patterns. So many people think of initiation as passing a test to get to the next level, but it is also a reward for already taking the initiative to tackle the given tasks required when 100% with 100% commitment. Bats represent death of ego in shamanic circles, initiates with the aids of plant medicine and specific diets, confront their deepest fears for spiritual growth to let go of weak patterns and habitual fears. So this can be very uncomfortable and frightening, and many people experience deep sentimental sadness as they let go of their story, even if it is a real shifty story. So the friend that they are letting go of turned out to be not so friendly, and like smelly old slippers that would be embarrassing to wear in public. It's kind of like time to recycle. So bats sleep by day and fearlessly fly by night, using feeling through sound to navigate the deepest, darkest caves, often triggering old fears of plagues because they commonly carry rabies. However, most people are blind as a bat to the hell they cause themselves through the infectious disease of complaining instead of taking initiative for strong change. So this is Colette Marie Steffen. That was out of my Layer 3 manual in my course, which I'm now working on an online program for. It's going to take me a little while. We'll be right back after this short break. 1-800-930-2819. Please do call in if you would like to shift some energy. I'm here for you. Lots happening for lots of people. I've got lots of people having lots of things. And I would like to talk a little bit about that. And this was like the number one weakness I was picking up today. So we'll be right back in a few moments. This is Colette Marie Steffen. You're listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio, and we're live on Facebook right now. We are talking about ego. We're talking about, to me, I feel like everybody has to, like a lot of spiritual or alternative healing people will say, oh, you can't have an ego. And I'm like, you have to have an ego. We live in a third dimensional planet. You have to have some sort of identity. But you also have to remind yourself that everybody else also has to have an ego. And so what people are talking about is really when, because I've always been kind of confused like by this, because so many people say it differently. So when I think of ego, I think about like all the weaknesses, like because if you ask that question, why, and this is what we were talking about, before the break, is that this is a karmic space that we all pretty much fall into. And like we create an ego when we're born. Now, like look at this little squirrel baby that I have now. Like she's a squirrel. And I like yesterday morning, I got her like warmed up and I sang her a lullaby and carried her around the yard and warmed her up and and let her know she's okay. And baby squirrels at that age also can't go to the bathroom by themselves. Just so you know, a lot of baby animals can't. And so I'm learning a lot, but I knew this from because I have a lot of experience with dogs and cats and from owning a boutique and training them for years and stuff. But and I know something about rodents because I've had a lot of guinea pig pets with the kids. But squirrels, like, they need to be fed every 2 hours because they're just so delicate and they need to be kept very, very warm. And they also really like when I found the stuffed toy that my cat's like of the little chipmunk squirrel, she just latched on to that now. And so it's way easier for me to feed her because she wants to hold on. So she has all these squirrel behaviors and she's, like not really even a squirrel yet. So it's been so interesting for me to watch because like I was saying to Zach, I have not looked after an infant for many years. And yeah, and so I kudos out there to all you moms out there, like that are looking after babies and thinking, oh, like I don't have the house clean or I don't have this done or that done. This is a very challenging job. And like with this little squirrel, it's only going to last like a couple of weeks total, like where I'm going to have to be at this level. And once I get her over this hump, then I'm going to look into her future. But you see, this is very important because this is kind of what's happening out there for a lot of people. There's, what about the future? What about our children's future? And I feel that like it's so interesting that this initiation card came up and that like in one day, like I've never had a bat in my house in 7 years in this house. And when I was in ayahuasca ceremony in Peru, I was in the outhouse and there was bats in there and I was using the toilet and they were flying out between my legs and I was like, I didn't think I could handle that. And when I poked at that bat thinking that it was just like a hornet's nest starting, I was like I was running in the air. So, and I mean, and it was like, and it stretched its wings out, and I'm like, wow. And it was right on my ayahuasca thing. So the universe has a wild sense of humor because for the life of me, the only thing I can think of is that Stella might have brought it in from outside, but I can't see her bringing it. Was quite big. She's a small cat, so I think it might have got in through my cat run, maybe somehow. I don't know, or maybe it flew in when the door was open for a minute. We were moving some stuff at dusk. I don't know, but when that bat showed up, I knew right away. Oh, there's a message here, and all of my clients throughout the last, well, months, but like we're all going through so much. And so many people are shifting right now and they're moving into a different way and their egos are changing. So that's what I love about my deck. And so I do 3 card consultations on this call. If anybody does want to call in, 1-800-930-2819. I know a lot of you at this time, your kids are out of school, but they've been out of school for quite some time now. So it's probably becoming a little bit more, the lack of routine is becoming more routine. And so I guess maybe that's what I want to talk a little bit about is moving into the future. I have right now, throughout the summer until probably the end of September at least, I will continue to offer 2 consultations for the price of one. And the way I'm doing it is you book the first one, and then within a week, we book the second one of the same amount of time. And so you can check that out on my website. So I really am enjoying that, and I'm reconnecting with a lot of people. It's good because I'm kind of, because I'm not teaching, that I have time to do that. And then at the same time, I'm studying. So a lot of what's coming up in my studying is really, oh my God, I'm integrating years of work that I've done, and it's just all falling into place and I just love it. But I can't like there's just not enough hours in the day. And then I realized, okay, in the past, there's a lot of people like have had their plans rearranged. Like a lot of people might might have thought they were going to be doing this or that throughout this year, and right now we're in this what I would call under arrest energetically, and um, it was very frightening for a lot of people, and it still is. And there's a lot of death, and there's a lot of destruction, and a lot of it is actually um, from the reactions that people are having from their egos. And so, yeah, this is so interesting because and this is the way people are being tested. And I still say that people are being tested to see whether or not they can be kind at this time. That's the test. And society in general that treats animals the way that this society does in factory farms, etc., that is, it's all connected. And so we're being tested right now on how kind can we be? How much patience can we have at this time when it's so challenging? And, when I almost stepped on that baby and it was crying, the thought ran through my head, I don't want a baby squirrel to look after. I don't. And it just challenged me on so many levels. I spent a lot of money making sure that rodents couldn't get into my shed. And now I'm spending money heating my shed for a baby squirrel to live in. So the universe has a fabulous sense of humor. And then to walk in and see a bat, and I realized, okay, I'm making a choice here. I could choose to let nature take its course and let it die or whatever, but I can't listen to a baby crying like that. I just can't, and walk over it and say, see ya. And so this is kind of fundamental, I think, for a lot of people right now, is just recognizing this, is that on a day-to-day basis, we're all going to go back to our old ego, and we're going to have a reaction. And that reaction generally will not be beneficial if we're weak to what we're doing. So that's why we want to take that time to connect. And I see that we're going to be taking a break, and we do have someone from British Columbia on the line. I will take your call as soon as we come back. I just wanted to kind of explain the bat squirrel connection. People have been so kind. Thank you for all your beautiful comments on Facebook, and you can check out the pictures, not just here. I took some more, I'll take another one today of the little squirrel, but all of your information and everything, thank you, because I'm finding it very valuable. And I'm just taking it for this week. I'm going to make sure I keep her alive and feed her every 2 hours, because it's a lot of work. And then we'll see what would be best for her from there. And so thank you all for sending in those comments. We'll be back after this short break, and we will take the caller, and I will do a 3-card consultation for you. Be right back. Hi, this is Colette Marie Steffen. You're listening to The Truth is Funny on Transformation Talk Radio. And we're also live on Facebook today. We'll be on YouTube later. And we're talking today about initiation, about ego, and we're talking about squirrels a lot and how your life can change in a day. And I was just laughing. I was saying to Zach, I had my necklace, my brooch on backwards, because I was nervous. And I said, I haven't done that since I had babies, because I'm getting up every 2 hours to feed the squirrel. So we do have a caller here, Janine from British Columbia. Zach, can you please put her on? Hi, welcome. Welcome. What can I do for you today? Zach, what can she do? No, it shouldn't make a difference. Turn off the radio maybe. Like, are you just you're just like okay, yeah. And can you hear us now then? Yeah, yeah. I'm getting you're just too close to the computer, like to the radio show, and it causes static. So what can I do for you today? There we go. Good. So what can I do for you today? I know. I never thought I was gonna be a squirrel mummy. Honestly, I can honestly say to you, I thought lots of things I wasn't were that weren't gonna happen this year, but I one of them for sure was I didn't think I was gonna be a squirrel mummy. Stella says, "I can help you with that." Okay, okay. Um, oh, sure. Can I just ask? Can I ask you? Yeah. So, okay. How old is he? Okay. Because there's a weakness coming up for the age right away. S- Okay, okay, so here we have it. Okay, so this is Denny, not Jenny, right? Right. Okay, now I know. This is a gentleman that you have been um, caring for, and of course, this has changed. His like, and so what do you feel? Like, what functions has he lost? Hmm. So many people are complaining right now of joint pain. So what's coming up? Joint pain, arthritis is anger. So I'm going to do a three card. I'm going to pull three cards here on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 being like it's a disaster. Like I'm really worried about him. Like you can really see that he's going downhill. And 0, like I've seen him like this before. He'll bounce back. Where are you on that scale? You've never seen him like this before, is what's coming up. He's very sensitive. So when he goes out and someone like him, like wearing a mask and not being able to get in the full amount of air, could be very challenging for his body. And so we're just going to strengthen the oxygen in that and his understanding level of what's going on. And see, on some level, he has a stronger, he's like the squirrel. He has a stronger understanding. He has a much stronger understanding of what's going on than people realize. He has a stronger understanding of what's going on this planet right now than most people on this planet is what's coming up. So, I mean, because he's vibrating at a different frequency than regular people. And so it's coming up a past life at the age of 52 as a woman. And so we're just one, four, 400 AD. That's a long time ago, isn't it? Okay, so this is something that's okay, so this isn't directly related to him. This is like more like what I talk about the collective. And as I said, because he's so sensitive, he can feel when people are really like he can tell when people are phony. It's starting to get to him. And on another level, you could look at the way, have you noticed that he's quite brilliant around some things? What is he brilliant at? Like, um, what happened that he ended up with you? How did you end up with this beautiful being? Uh-huh. I love it. Okay, so I'm drawing cards, and it's funny. This is the see right now I'm working because like you have some of these cards, I think, but like these cards are I've been using them more for direction, for like a combination of feng shui and that. But now I'm working on them as an oracle. So it turns out that there's actually the major arcana are all in the vertical cards, which I'm like, as I'm starting to gather the information. And the first one that came up is appreciation, which is the painting I just finished, which is synchronicity, which has about six squirrels in it. And I feel like, and one of the squirrels is dropping a nut on it was holding a nut and accidentally dropped it, and it's probably I don't know what color this squirrel's going to be, and so the wheel of fortune, the appreciation is appreciation for synchronicity. So like how long have you been with it? How long has it been since he's been with you? Okay, so what was going on 6 years ago when he moved in with you? Okay, because it's coming up, you made a big move in your life. You went, okay, so there's a lot of moving happening. One of my clients, it's just hilarious. Like she decided to sell her house, and she's in Surrey area, and it couldn't have worked out better because she listed the house on the market. It sold in 6 days. And then she was freaking out. We had another consultation, like she was doing the 2 for 1, and we worked on her finding a house. And within another 6 days, they just found the house, and they'll be moving into it on the 12th. And it's 5 minutes from the house they were in before, but it has all the features and it's totally redone. And it has a suite in it. So now the people that were living beneath them for 5 years, like in their suite below, are going to move in with them, and they all get to move together because those people have been with them for 5 years. Like it's just so beautiful how that works out, right? And so, and all in within a 3 week period in the middle of a pandemic with two little kids and one of them working two jobs and one taking a course and working full time. So, and this is a young couple. I'm just so proud of them and like because she diligently, energetically connected with what she wanted and moved forward in that way. So at that time, I'm just getting that you were making major moves also. And so I feel like right now is that time, like it's just like ripe for it. And on the second, like when this squirrel fell out of the tree for me, just call me Cinderella. I have a yeah, like everybody, like my daughter and her boyfriend left by 4 o'clock that day. We had pizza together, and then she said, "Let us know if there's any more creatures in your house today." So it, I was like literally saying to my daughter, there is a bat, like, because I had just said, look, I've got this thing, and I'm like, you got to be nice about it because I'm trying to make it cute so that I can hold it. I don't need any rhetoric about how ugly it is. I'm trying to mother it here. So it's coming up kind of like only a face a mother could love. So this man has come to you for healing on a maternal level, but what's so beautiful is he actually, and I'm just getting this beautiful feeling that he actually came for you and Steve. That's interesting. So now this is the other card that came up, which is kind of interesting because this is when I was leaving for Peru. That's when all the, Donald Trump started running for president. And this is a tactic card, and this is about elections. And here we are again, right, in the same time frame. So I don't know, like the wheel of fortune is kind of like about the wheel turning maybe in a new direction for people, right? So a lot of people are taking a new direction. So you have to check your ego because your ego is going to say to you, you want what's in the old story. You liked it, like you don't want it to change. And then you're thinking, wait a minute, there's some things I didn't really like about that. Maybe this is an opportunity for me to change some things. And maybe, just maybe, it's an opportunity for us to change some things on a big scale because we are the government, the way we govern ourselves. So, Zach, can we just skip the break? And do we still have another caller? Hey, all right. So I want to wrap it. I want to get you. I feel that you shifted there. Did you feel a shift? Okay. So he is processing. What is he having problem with his bowels? And so is he also having problems with because it's coming up like that area that there's like a disconnection in communication also between his bladder and his bowel to bladder, bladder to bowel. So he can feel like I don't know, have you noticed when you go out that like I talked about this on the last show about I don't know if it was the last show, sorry, or if it was maybe on oh, sorry, it was it was on my Get Your Shift Together call. So the Get Your Shift Together call, just so you know, is every Thursday now at 8:30 till 9. And so if you have an issue for $40, I will only take 7 people on that. And if you have something that you want to clear, you send me the issue and I will work on for 30 minutes, however many people I have on that call. A lot of people are finding that that works really well for them right now. But this is coming up for him. Yeah, like this is something like he's being triggered by the anger. He's being triggered by like, how does he feel? Is like, does he go out at all now? Like, do you take him out? Totally? Because yeah, but he can feel it coming. Like, no, he reads people very well. He reads people very well. Like you can learn a lot from him if he says he's like an animal, like they know, like deer, they can smell if you eat meat, right? So they're more friendly to people that don't eat meat. And so it's kind of like that with him. He's got he goes off his sense of smell a lot. That's a survival that comes from the base chakra. So this makes sense, doesn't it? And so we're just going to delete all the anger that he's picking up from other people, strengthen his boundaries of his authentic self triad. And so, and these times, because people like that are people are like being unreasonable a lot of the time, and then people are being overly amazing. You don't hear about the overly amazing so much, but you hear a lot about the other, right? That's just how it's been. So here's another card, and this is interesting because this one is from also from ceremony, and that is another tactic, and that is deception. And that would be that the biggest weakness, the biggest lie people are told is that there is a war between men and women. There's no war between men and women. We're That's not the war, but it sure does distract people from what's going on, right? So we're just going to strengthen that. And this is also about the Sapo frog, which is a type of ceremony you can do there, and that strengthens a lot of the anxiety. And so that's like she's kissing the frog here, but that's a Sapo frog. Very honored. Has something like 26 ways of healing people. And I'm getting on a physical level, I'm just strengthening for the frog to do what it would do if, for him, if he was able to go to Peru and experience the frog. Because the people that the natives that use this, like they go out hunting and they like to use this because it sharpens vision, calms anxiety and fear when you're of the dark, being able to see better. Your friend, he knows dark when he sees it. He knows dark when he sees it, and he knows bullshit when he sees it. And he's not wearing a mask. He doesn't need to wear a mask. He's not masking himself. He is authentic. He's authentic. When you say what you see is what you get with him. So he's teaching you a lesson, and then you came on my radio show to teach us all a lesson about how our perception of someone who's disabled, because who's helping who here right now? The squirrel. Am I helping the squirrel more, or is the squirrel helping me more? Right? So sometimes when people have disabilities, people have a tendency not to see, and this comes from ego, because someone is different or whatever, and that they don't seem to be a fully functioning human being, that they are less intelligent, and they just use a different form of intelligence. And his specialty is knowing bullshit when he sees it. And there's a lot of bullshit out there, and it makes him very anxious. He's like a small child that can feel when his mom's about to get mad. Yeah, and that's coming up for him. So this is what we're healing right now. I just want to check in because we have another caller. So I just want to check in. What's your number now? Yeah. So this is going to be about your perception from here. Like, look at how many people would have, like, this is how people are right now. I'm telling you. Like, for 7 years, I've lived here. And I'm part of the Border Free Project. So I have 150 feet of fence, and I planted vine out there. And it's it was very challenging, very hot, really hostile. And for the first couple years, the people walking by would have to stop and tell me why I can't grow clematis there. It's impossible. The deer will eat it. You're going to have to train it. I said, one person said, well, now that it's grown, you're going to have to train it. And I'm like, well, I raised two teenagers and trained a bunch of dogs, and I did ayahuasca ceremonies. So I do know something about vines. I don't think it's going to be that hard to train the vine, and it hasn't been. But now they walk by and I can hear them talking. Oh, there's only like, yeah, the clematis is really pretty, but there's only like 100 flowers on it. She should have, and they'll say when I'm out there watering, how come do you think your clematis doesn't have that many flowers on it? And I'm like, I counted 100 flowers on one plant that you said wouldn't grow 3 years ago. Now you're upset that it doesn't have enough flowers. It's very funny. And so and I'm thinking the number one weakness is actually people cursing the plants and not thinking they're going to grow. Zach, are we at the end of the show? Yeah, I apologize to the other caller. I'm sorry. I just really felt like this is fundamental for people to get this. Fundamental. And I feel like so blessed to have this precious being that you have taken into your home, and to have him come on the show in the way that he can to teach us all a little something about humanity, right? So, wow. So can't like so now just check in because this is just about perception. He's smart. He is smart. He has gone through more things that people are afraid of right now. People have no idea when they look at him what he's been through. He's already mastered all the fears that everybody else is worrying about when he was way younger. He had to. So he really is kind of confused. He's got a very pure heart. Yeah. So thank you for calling in. It was just beautiful. It really warmed up my day. I've got to go feed the spirit. Yeah. So we're gonna strengthen this for him. All the love, all the appreciation, because that is the first card that came up. All the appreciation that this beautiful man, this beautiful soul has shared with us, like all the appreciation we have for him and all his beautiful teachings. There you go. So thank you so much for calling in, and thank you, audience, for listening. Dr. Pat, thank you again for allowing all of us this opportunity to talk about these things on Transformation Talk Radio. Thank you, Zach, for producing. I'm going to go feed my squirrel now. I'll be back next week. Yeah, it'll be me. We'll talk to you then. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tired because I'm on a 2-hour feeding schedule. We'll see what the radio show is like next Wednesday. Bye for now.
You've been listening to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen. Tune in to The Truth is Funny with Colette Steffen each Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio.